welcome to the channel. In this video, I plan to say today's cricket news. It was the first time I had shed tears in the dressing room ever. Usman Khawaja recalls the heartbreaking World Cup semi-final exit versus England. Usman Khawaja scored 346 runs in the 9 games he played with 2 brilliant 50s in the group stage of the mega event. Australia was one of the most best teams in the ODI formats and were the main contenders to win the 2019 World Cup and also the most favourite team to win the ODI World Cup 2019. But because of the unfortunate, they lost to the semi-final to England by 8 wickets. And later, England reached the final of the 2019 World Cup and defeated New Zealand in a mega thrilling contest which even lasted to the super over, and also these two teams were separated by the boundary count. It was always a dream for a player to win the World Cup trophy for his country, said Usman Khawaja, but it isn't an easy task. One of the main reasons behind their defeat was the absence of the informed opener Usman Khawaja, who sustained a hamstring injury in the last group game against South Africa. Now, the left-handed batsman has expressed his feelings in the dressing room when he saw that his team has lost in the semi-final. The 33-year-old had the best chance of his life to do so, who was in the red-hot form while batting during the mega event. He had amassed a total 346 runs in 9 games which he had played in the World Cup with 2 brilliant 50s in the group stage. It looked like Khawaja might help his team in winning the major, but that never happened as he sustained a hamstring injury after playing just 5 balls against South Africa in the last group stage game. Unfortunately, he was also ruled out of the crucial semi-final clash also. Usman Khawaja also feels that his hamstring injury let his team down in the 2019 World Cup. The Aussie player was shattered after his team's defeat against Ian Morgan's led side England in the semi-finals. Khawaja said on the launch event for the documentary series that it was the first time that he had left tears in the dressing room. He had no idea about this camera and the overflowing emotions came out rolling through his eyes. The 33-year-old also said that all his life he wanted to play and win the World Cup for his country at that moment, but unfortunately that match Steve Smith was the top scorer with 79 runs and Australia somehow reached a total of 239 for the loss of 8 wickets. And then you saw about England's batsmen when from Jason Roy to Johnny Bairstow and from Johnny Bairstow to Ian Morgan. They just didn't give the game to Australia at any moment of their chase. And also, the skipper Ian Morgan finished the dream for Australia as he hit a brilliant 4 of Mitchell Starc's delivery. It was a raw emotion, says Usman Khawaja. I rarely ever tear up. It was built up over my whole life wanting to play in a World Cup and then play in a World Cup semi-final. Then hopefully a World Cup final. But unfortunately, I just could not fulfill that dream. I honestly thought that we were going to win. Even after I got injured, I thought we were going to win because even though I am not there for playing, they had many great players like David Warner, Steve Smith, who could get the game away from the opposition. Also the skipper Aaron Finch. Even after I got injured too, I was going to win. I felt like that hamstring injury let the team down a bit, especially in that game. Missing out on the opportunity to play in a World Cup semi-final was just heartbreaking, Usman Khawaja said. It was a very depressing speech from Usman Khawaja, and also all the Australian fans cannot forget that day when Australia was one of the best teams, and even I also thought that Australia may win the World Cup because they had some of the great players also in the top order. Like if you see Aaron Finch, the skipper of Australia, David Warner, you know David Warner, he can hit centuries and he can just get the game out of the oppositions. Then Steve Smith, you can see his wrist work. Usman Khawaja, Alex Carey, and also Glenn Maxwell, the finishing touch. But unfortunately, something happened to that team in the semi-final, and thus they lost. Maybe they didn't bat it well. Maybe the pressure in the semi-final made David Warner, because sometimes when your top order is batting very well and suddenly in a semi-final or in a final, the top order will make collapse, and thus it will cause great pressure to the middle order as well. Maybe that can happen. I think so that only happened in this semi-final also. In the semi-final one, if you see Australia versus England, the top order was firing the group stage, but unfortunately in the semi-final, Aaron Finch and David Warner was out in a single digit score. And thus it caused great collapse and damage to the middle order as well, as Usman Khawaja was out due to an hamstring injury. If you're looking at the semi-final 2 as well, New Zealand versus India, if you see India's top order was just firing. Rohit Sharma has scored 6 centuries, 5 or 6 centuries in that World Cup, followed by KL Rahul's decent form with skipper Virat Kohli, one of the best batsmen in the world. So suddenly in that World Cup, that trick collapsed, and then the middle order like MS Dhoni almost didn't play that World Cup except that first match versus South Africa. Then he didn't play that because the top order was in full form. But in the semi-final 2, if you see that 3 batsmen were out in a single digit, and thus it caused great damage and collapse. So thank you for watching my channel. Kindly like, subscribe and comment, and for more notifications of the world cricket, kindly click the bell button for more videos. So thank you.